Welcome to our pitch on our movie, Isabel. So the main, we decided to call it Isabel because the main antagonist is called Isabel. She is a sort of ghost or sort of supernatural being who was killed in Cassio Forest a couple of years ago. She now haunts the forest to her and has a new victim who is our main protagonist, who is David Bueno, and he has been, in our opening sequence, he's basically been captured by Isabel and has been sort of isolated from everyone else deep within the forest. He basically wakes up, blood everywhere, no one around, or at least he thinks no one's around. Isabel obviously will be around that. We are planning on probably changing the name to something, probably something like Isolation maybe, or something to do more about his situation rather than the actual antagonist. But the title sequence, it'll be happening during the actual opening scene. So as the sort of scene is progressing, so the directors' names will be posted on the company logos, and the overall title of the movie will be sort of during the movie. We got this from, we took some influence from Seven and Insidious, and I guess, yeah, the Incredible Hulk as well.
So the genre is obviously horror, and we looked at some other subgenres like psychological horror, but in the end we tried to go with a theme of suspense because obviously we're wondering how he got to the position he's in, well, which is obviously shown in the movie. The representation of characters, there's only going to be two main characters, which is the teenager called David and the ghost spirit thing herself, Isabel. We'll be challenging the stereotypes of the teenager, as normally in horror movies, the actress is a vulnerable female, whereas we'll be using a teenager, and we'll have a Asian guy, which is yeah. So, and yeah. This is our company logo. Will be called Paradox Productions, and we came up with the name Paradox Productions because when we researched the definition of paradox, it came up with absurd or contradicting statement, which gives like an evil sense within the word absurd, kind of.
From the research we've done, we decided that we would choose 18-year-olds to 25-year-olds for our primary audience, and for our second audience we decided that we would choose 25 to 35-year-olds. The reason we chose 18-year-olds for our primary audience was because we could add like a variety of choices into our title sequence, such as blood scenes and some swearing. And the reason we picked 25 to 35-year-olds for the secondary audience is because below 18 would not be suitable for the movie that we'll be making. The location we'll be filming will be in the woods, as it will create a sense of isolation and being trapped and having no way out, and which also suggests that this victim is in danger. We chose this location as it's very easy to use due to it having easy access as well. The props we'll be using will be ropes. It could show and we'll be also using chairs, as it will show the history of what it's been through. Like it will be in like really bad state and everything. And we'll be also using ropes, as it could suggest like danger and yeah. The makeup we'll be using for the spirit named Isabel will have a pale face and will look really deadly to create this creepiness of her. And she will be wearing a white dress, as in most horror movies this is what you would see from a spirit like her. And the victim will be wearing casual clothes such as a t-shirt and trousers to show that he's just an ordinary teenager. the sound we'll be using is children rhymes, as it creates a really creepy sense to the storyline. And also the conventions of a horror genre uses sounds like that.
For the title credits, basically, as you can see the name, the title Isabel, we decided to use that specific font because it's very bold, very clear, and you can easily see it. Also, the capitals really emphasize her name, like to really get it in your head, the main name of the antagonist. Also, we wrote it in red because it signified blood, danger, in general. In the title credits, we'll also be including our company logo, the actors, and the directors and editors of the show.
So to give you an idea of what to expect from what we'll be making, this is somewhat the kind of shots we'll be using. So we're going to start off with in the first half. The movie will start off with a long shot of the teenager tied to a tree, and then there'll be an extremely long shot of the woods to show the isolation and like how there's nobody else there pretty much. Next there'll be a panning shot which starts off with a teenager, and then we'll move on to the production logo, which is the Paradox Productions. And then after this it'll pan into the title sequence, and then it'll move back to next to the teenager's face. Then it will show a point of view shot of the teenager with the woods, which will be quite blurry to show the state he's in and what he's going through. And then there'll be a mid shot of the teenager, which will obviously be blurry as well to once again emphasize what kind of situation he's in. After this, it will show a close-up of the hands tied to the rope and a close-up of him worrying. That's about the first half, but there's going to be more after that.
For our production schedule, we decided we'd start filming on the 22nd of Jan, on the 14th, which is this Thursday, mainly because it fits well with the makeup group that is going to be giving us our makeup, so we'll be doing the 14th as well. But we also booked it for the 22nd, just in case we don't get all our shots filled in. So yeah, and we'll be filming during our media class, so all of us are present, and it's a lot easier for us to get to our location.
So the main things that could be a problem when we're filming is heavy rain, because of course that would completely make us have to stop and film another day. Also, the camera or sound couldn't be working, so when we were doing our practice, sound wasn't working the first time, which meant that when we were editing, we'd have to put any kind of footsteps or that in. So thankfully we didn't get around that, but if that happened again, that would be quite a major problem. Also, there could be students or people walking around. Sometimes they even mess with the camera, which happened last time. Other than this, there could be traffic, which would affect our timing, which would also mean that we'd have to film on another day if we don't have enough time. So we could get around the heavy rain by filming another day. And of course, if there's people walking around, we'd just have to wait for them to leave. There's nothing really we can do about that.